Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. Tonight we have a special video. We're going to dig deep into the archives of Julie's Wreath Boutique and bring you 4 Easter crafts that were the most popular on my channel, and we're going to do those again. Plus, there's a brand new tutorial at the end of this video, so stay tuned. So before we head deep into this tutorial, I wanted to show you this. Isn't that so cute? I made this over on Amazon Live, and I use all of this scrapbooking paper that I got from Amazon to make this wreath. Now, this tutorial is not on my YouTube channel yet, so if you want to watch it, go to the description box below. I'll leave you the link for the Amazon Live, and you can watch how we made this beautiful wreath. It was so much fun and one of my favorites. So let's get started on our Easter big bash of videos here. So this is a cross wreath that I made about in 2021, 2022, and this thing was really popular. You guys love this so much, so I decided to condense it down and kind of give you the cliff notes. The first thing you're going to need is some felt and a Dollar Tree cross wreath frame. If you can't get it at a Dollar Tree, you can go to places like the Wreath Shop, Trendy Tree, Wreaths of Joy, and they will have those. Then we're going to get the poly burlap out and the wood burner. And if you're not looking closely, there is a glass cutting board underneath. So how many pieces will you need? I'm not really sure, guys. What I'm going to do is leave you the playlist of all these videos down in the description box below. You can go to the original tutorials and watch them. Now, if you can notice here, this is me and the talking hands. You're going to see the talking hands a lot. This was before I would do voiceovers, and the videos were longer. So anyways, that's the talking hands. So you're going to take your piece of mesh. It is cut 10 inches by 10 inches, and you have the finished sides on the top and bottom, and we're going to form a triangle here. Once you form that triangle, we are now going to gather it from the bottom of that triangle in the center and form this kind of like a side petal design. Then we're going to put them together, and don't they look like angel wings? Exactly. I think that is so pretty. And my friend Trish from Dean Michael Designs originally made this petal. Then you're going to secure it on your cross frame. You're going to use the center brackets of this cross frame, and you are going to space this all out. And it's going to be really pretty before you know it. And if you want the back of this covered, I would suggest tracing that wreath frame in felt before you get started, and that can give you a nice finished look. So again, we're going to add all of those petals, and then you're going to go the opposite direction for the cross part at the top. So once we get all of these on, you can count them, there's about 7 to 9 of them there. Then we're going to do the different sections on the top of our cross, and we want the petals to go out the direction that the cross is going. So you're going to need a few here on this side and a few on the other side. You want to make sure it's all matched, and it will come together nicely. Now, if you are not familiar with poly burlap is more of a plastic-based mesh. You can get this at places like the Wreath Shop, Trendy Tree, and Wreaths of Joy, and all those vendors are down below in the description box. You can find poly burlap at Michael's and Hobby Lobby as well. Then you're going to add enough petals to kind of fill in. And so we're working our way into the cross section of our wreath, basically. So when you get to this point, I needed one more petal. And then what I did was I shortened it because it was a little bit too long. So as you can see, I kind of moved my fingers down. And before I did that, I took one of these tools. If you don't have some of these tools, I get them mostly from Amazon, but I have an Amazon storefront that's listed below, and you can go check it out. Those are really nice heavy duty tools to make this work. Then we're going to adhere that with a zip tie, and now the fun begins because we are going to add some beautiful greenery and florals to this wreath. Now, I didn't use any foam for this part. I just used my zip ties and kind of took different greeneries that I had. This particular greenery came from, I believe, Hobby Lobby, and we kind of did this X pattern which made it kind of even, and then we kind of went from there. So you just add as much as you want or as little as you want, or maybe you want to make a bow. Maybe you have a little placard that you want to put. This is a great wreath for Easter. It's very popular at Easter, but a lot of people like to do these as in remembrance of their loved ones as well. So either way, we do the Easter bunny here, but we also do the cross. So we love it all. And this just will turn out so pretty. And as you can see, you can put them in all these different directions. And then once you kind of build up the base, you can actually use a little bit of glue or just stick them through the zip ties that are already on there. So it kind of builds up a base for you. Then I took a little bit of, I believe this is like a goldenrod type of floral. I always like to have a little bit of that. And then we're just going to make sure that everything looks balanced. Here I'm using the glue. Again, if you don't want to use the glue, you can use zip ties. Just know it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get it wrapped around everything. That's why I'm using the glue. But I think this turned out really super cute. And you guys always love it when I post a short or a reel. But if you want to watch the full tutorial, if you want all the supplies and all the list of things that I use, make sure to go to it in the description box below. We're going to add some of these really pretty flowers. I think this is like a ranunculus. Do you ever watch, or you ever make something, not watch, but do you ever make something and you're like, man, I should have done this better? When I get done with this, I feel like I just kind of had too many flowers in the middle. So I would have done maybe just 3 of these flowers, I think would have been really nice. And as you can see, I'm even bringing that through the back of the wreath. But that is such a cute little wreath, a very popular wreath at Easter, and another great way to remember your loved ones. But if you love this wreath, you're going to love the next wreath. Now, is this the only cross wreath I have? No, we have several cross wreaths, and we have one more in this video that I'm going to show you that was really popular as well. This is me putting on the felt that I made, and I just tend to use zip ties and just add them along the wreath. And there she is. Isn't she pretty? I think she was so much fun, and I love this one. But let's get ready to make an Easter bunny. Now this one, it's an old video. You could probably tell with the lighting, with the quality of the camera, but I wanted to share with you because you can still make this wreath. Now, you might have to get a little bit creative. Go to Dollar Tree, see if they have one of these scary tinsel bunny faces. I don't understand the tinsel bunny faces. They look scary to me. This is a regular 14-inch Dollar Tree frame, and actually I felt like it was a little too big for the body of our wreath, so we're going to cut it down. So we're going to cut off at the brackets here, the outer rim of this wreath, just to make it a little bit smaller. And this is a great way to do it if you were making maybe a flower wreath and you wanted just to have a smaller base, but you wanted it to be a little bit more of a unique size. So that's an idea for you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some plastic canvas mesh, and we're going to line that wreath with that plastic canvas. If you've ever seen me use this, this is the kind of stuff that your grandma used to make coasters with, when in the 1980s, at least my grandma did. And then I'm going to cut 2 pieces of felt. We're going to get chunky yarn. That yarn came from Hobby Lobby, but you can also get it at Michael's and Walmart as well. Then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just wrap the base of this wreath and the base of the second wreath. The second wreath is like a 10-inch or an 8-inch. Again, you're gonna want to go back, and if you want to make this wreath, you're gonna want to go back and watch the original video, because I'm going to have all the details of all the supplies, and all that will be super duper helpful. Now, the reason why we use this tinsel frame is for the ears, solely for the ears. And this was back when everything was $1 at Dollar Tree, right? So it was great. I just wrapped the little ears with this chunky yarn, and then I go to the back of it and I take a little zip tie and I connect it and add a little bit of hot glue. You're going to do this on both of those ears, all right? So just keep this to the side because you're going to put it all together here in a moment, all right? It'll make sense. So Once you get that done and you get that all connected, we're going to put it all together, but we have to fill the center. We've got to have the body of our bunny, and we're going to do that here in a moment. And what we're going to do is, at this point, I put the canvas on the back of that wreath. You just take zip ties, and then I'm going to take this yarn and we're going to make poofs, and you're going to wrap this around your 4 fingers. You're going to see me do it here in a moment, and I'm going to wrap it several times. Okay, I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I'm going to grab it by the middle. I'm going to put a zip tie down into that plastic canvas, and I'm going to secure it in the middle, and that's just going to make a little pom-pom effect. You're going to go around the whole wreath and fill that in. Remember, you're going to have to attach that plastic mesh. I didn't show you here. You'll have to watch the original video, but that's what we did. Now, did it to both of the frames, and now we're going to attach the ears to the smaller frame with zip ties. So we do that, and now we have the head of the wreath and the body. So this is a pretty good size wreath for Easter when it's all said and done. And it was a lot of fun. I remember sending this to my sister-in-law, and she was so happy. She loves Easter. So now that we've got that secured, we've got to attach it to the body. And before we do that, actually, you need a little hanger. So you're going to take a little zip tie, not a zip tie, Julie, that's a chenille stem, and you're going to make a little thing to hold it, because you got to have somewhere to hold it, right? So before I get ahead of myself, now we're going to attach the body with 2 zip ties, and you attach the bottom and the top. So once you do that, we're going to make some little feet. I took 2 pieces of about 8 inches long of 2.5-inch wired ribbon, and I just folded them over and attached them as I'm showing you here. Pretty simple, right? So you got to have 2 feet though. So we're going to do it on the other side. Then you can do one of 2 things. You can make your own little poof out of like a little pom-pom out of yarn, like you did when you were in grade school, and put it on the back of your wreath. Or you can do what I did, which was I bought one from Dollar Tree. Yeah, you might be able to find these at Hobby Lobby. This may have came from Hobby Lobby too. And I just, put it on the back of the wreath, and she looked cute. Now, we're going to make a bow, but I'm not going to show you how to make the bow because, guys, honestly, you can go watch any of my bow videos and learn how to make this bow. And I think that this turned out super cute. So if you want to watch the full tutorial, this, again, I think I made this back in 2020, and things were hard to find. So go to the videos that are in the description box. And that's me just securing the back. Then you can add the pieces of felt, just glue them on the back, and then you have a really finished backing of your wreath. Okay, I think she's so cute, and I loved the ribbon that I picked for this one. So let's go from this bunny to another bunny. Ever made a wreath or craft project and looked back at it and said, you know what, I could have done that better, or I should have stopped before I got too far? Well, that was this particular wreath. Now, you can get a Dollar Tree bunny, frame. This came after the one I show you before here. Dollar Tree finally got onto it and said, hey, we got to do this. And so you're going to cut that out of felt because we're going to save that to the end. This is the type of, let's see, it's like a plastic canvas, I guess is a good word. Imagine like the stuff that you put on for earrings with a cricket, or you could even use the plastic, like a plastic tablecloth for this. We are going to cut out the inner circle a little bit bigger for this, and we're going to cut out the ears as well. All right, so you can see I'm cutting out the second wire there, so I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to trace the ears as well. This was a fun project, but when I released it, I put that big bow in the middle, and it just hid the whole wreath. So we're not even going to do that bow. So just ignore that bow, all right? But take some Dollar Tree rope, attach it to the back of the frame, in the middle of the frame, and you're going to wrap the round part first. And this will probably take a couple things of the rope. They also have like a white rope too, so you could use that as well. You could get cording from Hobby Lobby and do a different color. They have pastels. And then I just used a little bit of glue and another zip tie, and then we went to the top and we started wrapping the ears. And this is a really super easy, very simple type of project. So if you only have a little bit of time and you're just wanting to have a little bit of more of a rustic bunny decor, this was a fun project to do. So you're going to go on one side of the ear and to the next. And maybe you might want to use something else, for that. This is just to give you a little bit of inspiration. Secure that down, and then you're going to take your hot glue gun. Of course, I get them at Amazon. You can get them at Walmart. And they're in my storefronts down below. But those are my favorite glue guns for right now. I've never tried anything else that I just really love as much. But, I'm always open to find something else. So if you have a glue gun that you love, I'd love to know down in the comments. Then you're just going to glue this on the back of your frame. And it's pretty much that easy. If you live in a climate that you're worried about the glue melting, what I would really recommend for most places, maybe not everywhere, is the Gorilla Glue sticks. And I use it in this particular video as well. And it's going to turn out so cute, and it's going to be very simple, and that's okay. And then this is when I should have stopped. I just cut out this vinyl, and I made a really super cute bow, and I should have stopped with it there, and I think it would have been super cute and been done. But that is a really quick and easy little bunny tutorial if you have any of these wreath forms. So let's get to that cross I was telling you about. I like to feel that I've come a long way in my editing, in my videos, and the quality. But I used to start the videos out like this. I would show you the finished product, and then I'd go back and I'd show you how to do it. So this is an oldie but a goodie, and you guys really loved this wreath. I did this back in 2019, I believe, or 2020. And these are just tulips. The tulips on the right were tulips you could get from Michael's, but I use these from Hobby Lobby. And again, we're using another Dollar Tree cross wreath frame with the talking hands. Do you guys remember the talking hands? How many of you were back here watching me? Have you been watching me that long that you remember the talking hands? So you're going to kind of dissect. This is what I use. We dissect these floral bushes, right? And then we're going to layer them in like threes, all right? And I don't know why I had to pull one off and put one back on, but I did. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take some different tulips and you're going to kind of mix these because remember, we're going to do pink and yellow. These were my wedding colors, by the way, pink and yellow, a little bit softer colors. And then you're going to have a group, and the tulips are going to be facing down. We're going to add a little bit more greenery to this wreath here in a little bit at the end. So stay with me, and we have one more newer tutorial after this. So you're going to add any type of flowers. If roses are more your style, if hydrangeas, not hydrangeas, hyacinths, I think, is that what I want to say? I think that would be really pretty. Wildflowers, but I want to encourage you to try something different. Here's the thing. I want to go in the direction of the actual cross. So the top has the tulips going up, and then the tulips will be going towards the sides of the cross as well. And you're just going to keep filling them in using your zip ties to fill this whole project. But I remember giving this to my friend, and she just thought it was wonderful, and she loves it, and I think she still hangs it to this day because she has a covered porch, so the sun doesn't really hit it too much. But this is such another wonderful type of wreath for Easter because I love tulips. And I think the tulips just signify spring. It signifies new growth. And it's just a beautiful wreath to use for Easter. And again, because it's a cross wreath, it would be a great memorial wreath as well. And I just loved this wreath. And it just makes me smile thinking about this wreath because it was a lot of fun to make. And you guys, you really love these wreaths whenever I use the Dollar Tree stuff. So let me know in the comments, do you want to see more Dollar Tree wreaths, or are you happy with what I'm bringing? So you're going to have to go back and forth when you get to the side branches here of your wreath. And one of the things that I do is I like to go back and forth to make sure it's even. So like here, I'm like pulling some of those tulips in a little bit because you can see the difference. And so we don't want it to be one side too much longer than the other. We want it to be pretty even. So you're just gonna make sure that they are pretty symmetrical, I guess is the right word I'm looking for. And then when you get it done to this part, you can be done. But I wanted to add a little bit more greenery. This is where I got out some greenery I had. I had a little bit of a white flower on it. And we just kind of dissect these, and then I ended up hot gluing these into the wreath. So you're going to add any bit of little bit of greenery. We don't want it to overpower the wreath, but we want to fill in any gaps. Again, I really kind of feel like I could have done either way, but I think it just turned out really well to add just a little bit here and there. It makes it for a little bit fuller wreath, and I just think you might be a little bit more happy with it at the end. And it gives it another kind of layer of texture to your wreath. And I think, oh my goodness, I think that the cross wreath frames at Dollar Tree are such a good find. And if you can find them, get them. The next thing we're going to do is make a really simple bow. And you're going to take a loop and you're going to measure it, make it as big as you want. I probably would say that that was probably 10 inches that I put together there. And I'm going to come back to the middle here. And we're going to just make sure that they're pretty, pretty even on both sides. I'm going to do another loop, and then we're going to twist it. It's always the key is twisting it. Now, if you are someone that loves to use Pro Bow the hand, Pro Bow the 4-in-1 or something like that, I have a lot of videos using that product, and those are the go-to bow products for me. So make sure to check out my Amazon storefront as well. We're going to take a little bit of a chenille stem, and that's what we'll wrap around the wreath in the middle. And then we're going to cover the middle of this bow. We're going to cut out just a little bit, and then we're going to fold it over, and then we're going to wrap it around the middle. Doesn't it make a nice finished look? And then I'm going to cross that and use the chenille stems to tighten it up. And then we will cut off the remainder of that ribbon, guys. Add a little bit of glue. That's what I did. So isn't she cute? I think she's cute. And then you're going to cut either, let's see, what do I do here? Yep, we just ended up cutting a angle and not the dovetail. You guys know about the dovetail, but if you guys like this video, listen, I want you to say Happy Easter in the comments. I would love to know which one of these projects you want to try. And something fell upstairs, guys. I'm not going to even, if you heard it, let me know. Somebody dropped something. Hope everybody's okay. I'm sure they are. I'm in the basement in my studio doing this voiceover. I hope that brings you a little bit of joy. This is a regular family here, and Dad is making grilled cheese for dinner tonight. So anyways, I think this turned out really pretty, and it has a lot of great memories, and I think that you would love to make this too. Isn't she pretty? All right, let's do the new project that I have for you. I just went upstairs, found out what happened. Madeline tripped on her pants. She was laughing, so she's good. She's good, all right? Anyways, I went to Hobby Lobby the other day, and I found the most adorable little embroidery hoops. And I thought this would make such a cute little bunny. And I love the brown look of it. And then I found this fabric, and I was like, you know what? We got to do this fabric. We got this blue fabric. I want to say it's chinoiserie or something. I'm sure I butchered that word. But you're going to cut a round piece, whatever one you decide. And then you're going to cut out that fabric. Now, I did a version of this back in like 2018, 2019. And I'm going to be honest, the quality of that video is really poor. So I thought I'm going to do a new one, show you how I would do it today and add a little bit of a spin. So you're going to put your fabric in, and I really like these frames because they were really sturdy, and they're not real easy to put on, but they really did work. And we have 2 of those, and we're going to put them together here. So how are we going to make this stick, right? A popsicle stick. Yeah, a popsicle stick. If you have something like a popsicle stick, that'll work too. So I ended up adding a little bit of glue, and I said, you know what, that's not working. I got to get the little glue gun out. And this one was the perfect glue gun for this project. It has a nice fine tip point, and it's what I would recommend. Then we're going to add a little bit of glue on the back end of this too, and this is going to help stabilize our little bunny here. This is going to be a really cute little kind of cottage core croquette. Is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right word or not. But then I had some of this really cute scrapbooking paper, and I thought we're just going to cut, we're going to fold this over, and then we're going to just cut one ear, and then that way the ear will be the same on both, right? And so I ended up cutting 2, but this is paper folded over, and then I picked the one I liked the best. And I had to do a little bit of you know, trimming here and there, but you can do it too. If I can do this, you can do this. All right. Add a little bit of glue, and there we go. We've got our little bunny ears. I thought it was super cute. I got this amazing paper from Amazon. So it's just amazing. So now we're going to make a little bunny paws. And again, we folded the paper over so that we could be making 2 pieces or 2 little paws at once. And I just did some rounded edges, and I cut out or notched out the little toes. Pretty simple, and it's not that hard, guys. Just, it's easy. You can do this. Listen, if I can do it, you can do it. Then you're going to cut the middle there so that you have 2, and then I kind of rounded them a little bit more, and then we're going to just glue those on the back of our frame. Pretty simple, huh? And then the next thing, I've had these beads forever. I want to say a year or more. And I'm like, I got to use these. So this was in the ribbon aisle at Hobby Lobby. So I ended up using this beads because with that little glue gun, it fit perfectly. So you're just going to put the beads around it. If you don't want to do this step, you don't have to. I think she's super cute, or maybe he's super cute because we're doing blue. But I just thought this was a quick and easy little fun little bunny. I think this would be really cute to put on a wreath if you wanted some decor. Again, I wouldn't get the paper wet, but I think that it would be super cute. So we're going to do it at the top, and we're going to do it on the bottom. So here we go. We're going to have it done in just a jiffy here with the magic of editing. You know what I'm saying? But we have a lot of fun tutorials that are coming your way here on Julie's Wreath Boutique. So guess what? We've got an extra video coming this Wednesday night. So I hope you will join us. Okay. I have some really cool friends that are going to show you really neat crafts. It's not a wreath. It's so different, both of the projects. So make sure you're here Wednesday night. But we're going to make a simple bow. We're going to add a Chanel stem. Again, if you watch this whole video, make sure to say Happy Easter in the comments for me. But I loved how this turned out. I hope you like this. I love this blue and white look. I love the check. I love if it's the croquette style. I love that. I love it all. Have you heard of Grandma Millennial? I love it too. But if you love to craft, make sure you're following me here on Julie's Wreath Boutique. We do more than just make wreaths. We do a whole lot. So I'd love to have you. And we are going to add a little bit of hot glue, and we're going to glue that bow down. And she's going to be done. We're going to cut the ribbon at angles, and she is going to be done. I think she's turned out super cute. Yep, got glue on my cutting area here, but that's okay. She turned out beautiful. Or well, I guess she's got a bow on her. Yeah, that probably is the truth. Thanks everybody for watching tonight's video. I hope you'll check out the original tutorials if you want a little bit more details and a little bit more about where to get the supplies. But we'll be back next week with a brand new video, and happy Easter to you. Make sure to subscribe. We'll see you next week.